Greetings, fellow armchair Imagineers! Ears! Tiki here, and welcome to a long overdue recap podcast for So You Want to Be an Imagineer, Season 14, Greatest Hits. Folks, it's been a while. Man-Eating Wreath has just caught in the bubonic plague, apparently, and he's been just completely out of commission for like 3 weeks now. I wish him the very best. But we've not been able to do the podcasts. But alas, we are back with a very, very special guest. This is the first time he's come on the channel in a while. And Monkey, I believe this is the first, I want to say this is the very first time you're coming on specifically to talk about armchair Imagineering. If, like, I hope I'm right on that.
Like for this competition?
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, we have Monkey!
Hey!
All right. Monkey, of course.
I'm finally getting involved in this game.
Right.
In some format. Like some direct involvement.
You know what? I mean, I don't know specifically, but I have a feeling that you've just, like, seen the drama that's gone down through the past few seasons, and you're just like, I'm out. I'm out.
I don't know if that's been my reaction, but...
All right, fair enough. Well,
maybe it's more a coincidence.
Yeah. Well, Monkey, of course, you are a landmark player of the game. You defined a style. You kind of created the comedic project, if you will, with your Mel Brooks work. And, of course, you and I, hung out 3 times. I stayed at your house. We're good friends at this point. Yeah. So it's great. And now, Monkey, I'm stoked to see you return to the game.
Hopefully more time.
Yeah, hopefully. Waiting for Hamilton, maybe.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how hard it is to just, not, want to sign up for the lottery for Hamilton in San Francisco.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Understood.
Maybe I should. Okay. Maybe I will.
I'll get back to you on that.
Fair enough. Anyways. So, Monkey, speaking of Hamilton, we are in the midst of a theater project, which is why I invited you on, of course.
I thought this was about the Bengal barbecue.
Bengal barbecue? What? What possible prompt could we do about the Bengal barbecue?
New menu items. Tie it into the, maybe an expansion. Take over the rest of those 3 stores next to it.
That actually wouldn't be a bad idea, but okay, no, we're not here to talk about that.
No, I'm just playing with you.
That's a very random thing to bring up, although I guess you do know that I do like the Bengal barbecue, so...
That's why I brought it up.
Fair enough. Yes.
Tiki room flashbacks.
Yes. I mean, it is my... it's mostly my dinner of choice when I'm at Disneyland. If I can get the skewer... The trio of skewers that they have at the Bengal barbecue, I'll usually go for that for dinner at Disneyland. But
we can make a Disneyland stage show out of the Bengal barbecue.
I'd like to see someone try. I mean, it'd probably just be like the Jungle Cruise skippers running a restaurant or something, right?
I was thinking a tiger, but okay.
Well, they have a tiger as their mascot.
Awkward silence.
That they just plucked from the jungle. I don't know. But, so Monkey, I am stuffed into my Lion King shirt. You probably can't tell on camera, but it's like 2 sizes too small for me.
It.
So, and of course...
If it wasn't St. Patrick's Day, you should have told me.
Oh, God.
Then I would have had my Lion King shirt instead of green.
You're absolutely right. It is St. Patrick's Day, and I am not wearing green. Whatever. I'm not Irish. I have no regrets. I'm not
Irish either.
Monkey, much like you, I'm not even gonna drink a damn thing tonight. I'm gonna, I'm serious. The last thing I want to do tonight is go out and get plastered. I have work in the morning.
Instead of pinching you, I am going to poke you on Facebook.
Okay. All right. And of course, Monkey, we are in the midst of working on an epic podcast on our end. It takes us a while to do these damn podcasts. We were planning the Lin-Manuel Miranda podcast for at least a good 6 months before that actually came to fruition.
But that one actually had a specific time frame in mind, though.
It did. And this, we're just kind of like flying. I mean, technically, if you want to be technical about it, literally today would have been a good day to do it because of Beauty and the Beast.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever. We'll figure it out and do
figure it out. Yeah.
So, of course, this is just shameless self-promotion on our part, but we are going to be doing a
Disney Theatrical.
A 1.5 Theater Geeks Disney Theatricals at some point. Of course, there's a lot to go over there, Monkey. That's why it's taken us so long. It's very intimidating to do research on my end. But okay, so Monkey, without further ado, let's jump into it. Now, I'm curious, do you remember anything at all about Jag's Sleeping Beauty musical that inspired this project?
I think I forgot about it entirely until I looked at your prompt and like, oh yeah, that was a thing.
Right.
I guess it rings a vague bell. Kind of. Wasn't Merriweather an Ethel Merman type who made modern references?
I would have to go back and look. I don't remember modern references in it. What I do remember is that it
I was gonna give her a new iPhone.
God. What I remember of Jag's Sleeping Beauty musical and why it's so iconic is that it combined elements of the original ballet with the modern flourish of a Disney theatrical presentation, like a Disney Broadway show. So it was a very unique kind of multimedia combination of things that Jag had working with. And so with that in mind, we did the prompt to come up with a Disney theatrical show for a Disney park, you know, basically like kind of a Hyperion style show, like an Aladdin or a Frozen style show, hour long. And of course, the only requirement is what?
Style show.
yes, the classic. But of course, the only requirement for this thing was that it had to be based on a show which has never gotten a Broadway show or a Disney theatrical show of any kind.
Yeah, and I'll get to that at some point, but yeah.
Oh boy. Okay. You've probably dug some stuff out from the trenches of obscurity, but all right. So
depends on your definition.
All right, so Monkey, let's get right into it. I'm going to go ahead and screen share, and we'll start with Team Younger. All right. Any general thoughts about this project, Monkey?
Okay. Let's see. I feel like between the two, this is the safer project. Like it's certainly not a bad show choice. Like, feels relatively realistic. Like this could happen. Like with the remodel and the style of the show. There's some things I'll get into more detail on as we get to the scoring.
Okay.
There's one general note I could make. I'll save that for the end, I guess. But may have gone against the never been done thing, but there might be a loophole.
Okay, well, look, in terms of the never been done thing, what I was looking for specifically was like no Broadway show, no major show in a Disney park, and no major show on a Disney cruise line. So those were basically the three rubrics.
Okay, because there is a Pinocchio musical in development.
Oh, if it's in development, then that's fine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
because it's like it's gonna be in London in December this December, but it's being put on by the National Theater, like the same people who did War Horse, and it's gonna be based on
War Horse. It's a War Horse. I'm sorry.
It's gonna be based on like the Disney movie and the original book.
Oh no! Oh, the original book. Oh God! Oh man!
So it sounds like it's going to be kind of the Hunchback.
That's what I was thinking.
Approach.
Yeah, right.
They mentioned, like, I'm looking at this from Wikia. Rufus Norris, director of the National, has said that the National would not receive 1 cent from Disney Theatricals, but have only granted rights to use the songs and story, giving the National total artistic control and to produce it solely.
Nice. Nice.
Like
Okay.
in special arrangement is with Disney Theatrical.
Hmm.
But yeah.
But no, okay. I mean, just in terms of that, I think that's fine because,
Okay.
frankly, I don't think anyone,
You're the more legitimate judge.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anyone working on this even like knew that that was a thing. I didn't even see it brought up. So yeah, it's actually very interesting how they got to Pinocchio, and I want to highlight M. Harrington here, aka Big Disney Fan. Now, Monkey, Big Disney Fan. Basically, his role in the original game. I'm not sure how much you interacted with him.
I remember.
Or if yeah, but I'm not sure like how much you directly worked with him though.
Okay.
He was basically like the big old school guy, the big like classic Disney traditionalist guy, the guy who would essentially steer projects away from being kind of more risky and towards the safer side of things, but in a good way. You know, he was almost kind of like the the guy who was making sure that things didn't get too out of hand. And I think his role here was really good and really in that same kind of vein of like a classic big Disney fan kind of move. Because what they did is that originally the concept for this was going to be a James and the Giant Peach show that was going to be focused primarily on puppets. Now, of course, James and the Giant Peach would be a big risk for Disney because that movie, look, a peach!
Technically, there is some sort of stage version or two, but it's not Disney, so...
Well, it would be directly an adaptation of the Disney movie, so...
Yeah, fair enough.
But, you know, obviously it'd be a little bit more of a risk, you know, a high-risk venture. So what Big Disney Fan did was he came in and he suggested Pinocchio instead of James and the Giant Peach. But what they could do is that they could still retain what they'd been working on in terms of the style of the show, in terms of, like, having a big focus on puppets and spectacle and all that. Mm-hmm. And so I think that move was really pivotal in the brainstorming here.
Yeah. That does sound nice. Although I must say, I would love it if in their project they mentioned like family walking down Sunset Boulevard, and then a little kid, like the child, points and says to his mother, "Look, a peach!" And there's a giant peach as part of the facade for James and the Giant Peach, the musical.
Okie dokie.
And jokes.
All right, so of course this is more of Basket Buddy's iconic concept art here. Any notes on the rebottle? I mean, you've clearly done more theater work than I have, so does it sound like something that would be realistic? Cool.
Yeah.
And where is this again?
I mean, full disclosure, I've never actually been in the theater, so but yeah, I that does seem like a realistic remodel.
This is in WDW, right? Or is it Hyperion?
Yeah, in Hollywood
Okay,
Studios.
that's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah, I think both projects went.
Cool. All right, now with the art design, Monkey, I swear to God, this is like the second project in a row where they've had like just a direct reference to something I love. And I seriously wonder if they're just like combing the podcasts for like, oh, what is Tiki gonna like really respond to? And in this case, it's the Wes Anderson aesthetic.
Yeah.
Because you know me, I love me some Wes Anderson. He's definitely one of my favorite directors working today. I'll go see every one of his movies that comes out in theaters. It's
did the Wes Anderson ever happen?
No, it did not. I did Bottle Rocket, and then I kind of just gave up. Because there was like too much to say about Rushmore for like just me talking about Rushmore. And so I was like, I cannot do this justice with just me talking about the movie by itself. It's like I got through that shtick with Nicktoons Movie Month, and look how much hate I got for that.
Oh, yeah.
Like, hey, I'm just going to sit here in front of the camera and talk about a movie for like 40 minutes, and you're just going to go with it because you don't know me. You don't know my personality. Yeah, that was a good idea. Tiki of 2011. Monkey, can you believe this channel's over 6 years old? Over 5 years old, I should say. It's 6 years old.
Well, I mean, when did it... Wait, which channel are you referring to?
This channel.
Imagineer or Linder?
This channel. So You Want to Be an Imagineer.
Oh.
I'm sorry for the... I just realized the confusion. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Also, like, didn't we... I thought we started it up in 2013.
You might be right. You might be right. I might be confusing my timelines with the Tyler Linder channel now that I think about it.
Yeah, because I remember Nicktoons Movie Month was 2013.
Okay, well that's good to know then, because that puts an official timestamp on the channel then. So the channel's about to be 5 years old next year. I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah. Either way, it's still a good run.
That makes me feel slightly less old than 6 years old would be. I'm like, oh my god, where did the time go? Oh my god. Okay. So yeah, like I said, I really do like the Wes Anderson aesthetic, kind of like the shoebox diorama kind of look. I feel like would fit very well with something like this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And now the highlight of the presentation on my end, Monkey, is the original song that they wrote for the show, Welcome to Pleasure Island. What do you think of this?
Yay, commitment.
Right?
But
right?
yes, that was a good move, adding a new song for it. And they didn't just write lyrics, they made an actual song.
Which we see time and time again. We'll see like lyrics on So You Want to Be an Imagineer, but only a couple times have we seen original songs come out of it. So and I love this the Welcome to Pleasure Island here, this video, just because I love how Pi, like if you listen to it, it's just like Pie on My Cake kind of just talking to you, you know, talking you through how he came up with the song, what the lyrics mean, how the lyrics would be sung in the musical, what would be going on stage. It's a very, very good 4-minute video that's very informative. Okay, and then of course the script. Now I haven't had time to like go through and read like the whole thing here, but from what I have seen, it looks very faithful to the original while still maintaining kind of the you know, the cool aesthetics in place here.
Yeah, well, it's sort of my thing with this is that, granted, I haven't actually sat down and watched the movie for a while, but it feels like they took a lot of dialogue straight out of the film.
I feel like they did do that, yes.
Yeah, which for me personally is a bit of a turnoff, because like say it's the Aladdin versus Frozen argument. Like Frozen feels more like literally the movie. Aladdin took some more liberties, and I lean more towards the liberty approach.
I hear ya.
Yeah. So I wish they'd have, say, adapted the dialogue a bit more.
I just think the thing is with like when they're doing a full script for the whole show, I think, you know, they like just time wise, because they had less than a week to put this together. Time wise, I think it makes sense that they would kind of like just go and copy and paste a bunch of the dialogue. Okay. I understand what you're saying. I totally get it. I'm just saying from a logistics point of view, I understand why they went the route that they went, especially if they are presenting a whole script, which the other team did not do. So go ahead.
Understood.
Okay. All right, so I guess let's just get to the scores then, Monkey. Creativity, what do you have?
Okay. I ended up giving them a 7 out of 10.
Oh, God. Okay, Monkey's a harsh critic. Why is 7?
Yeah, I forgot to say that. It's that I can be as harsh as I
like. Why just a 7?
But it's, I guess, sort of the, like I said, that stuff with the dialogue or the overall safeness of this. I mean, Pinocchio is definitely a good choice.
Mm-hmm.
Just a little safe.
Okay, I can respect that. All right, detail?
8.5 out of 10.
Nice. I can. That's pretty fair with the script and everything, all intact. Okay.
Like, yeah, and this also ties into the realism one. Like this thing I had was that, like, a couple effects felt a tad unrealistic. Like I wasn't sure how they would be accomplished.
Mm-hmm.
Like say a lamp wick turning into a donkey.
I hear you. I hear you.
There was another one that I can't remember, or like the nest with birds growing on Pinocchio's nose.
Yeah, that would be a little difficult to just conjure out of thin air, wouldn't it?
I mean, like the flowers I could buy, the nest with birds.
Right, right. Okay.
But yeah, that ties into realism maybe a bit more though.
And then what do you give realism?
8 out of 10.
Okay, fair. Then presentation?
7.5 out of 10.
7.5. You wanted more Basket Buddy concept art?
Maybe, or
like more than...
I guess it just felt kind of standard.
I mean, to me, I gave the presentation a 9 out of 10 just for the effort that went into the song. But maybe...
That is a good point,
but
though.
Maybe that's just me being kind of kind of highballing it a little bit, just because I have seen...
I don't know if I'd give it that much for the song, but yeah, the song definitely deserves credit.
Mm-hmm. And I have seen songs done on the game before, but what I haven't seen is this particular approach to it, where Pi is literally like talking you through the creation of the song. And I really like that kind of that intimate, personable vibe that I got from this video. So that really raised the score for me.
Right.
Okay, so let's go to oh god. Hold on, let me just boop. Okay. That's a lot easier. Okay, let's go to Team Mist. You have no connection to this team whatsoever, Monkey.
No comment.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, so Team Mist did Fantasia, and they did it in an incredibly unique way.
Has this way been done before?
Never.
Like, oh my god, it is brilliant. Like, I'd say it's game changing.
Oh, Survivor Game Changers. Ooh, I'm kidding.
But
the closest I can think to this style of presentation is that a couple people have made like blogs, like gone onto Blogspot and like made like maybe like 5 or 6 blog posts, like kind of slowly detailing like, hey, we got this information and then we got this information. But yeah, for all the team members to go in and participate in this and make it like an actual forum post, like you said, I think it's ingenious. I wish I think detail is where this team kind of like got off track. Because,
yeah, that's the one thing with this approach. It makes it a little harder to go into detail.
Right, but I mean, I definitely think, like you said, it's way more outside of the box than Team Younger's is, whereas Team Younger definitely played it safe.
Yeah, and even the show itself is more risky.
Mm-hmm. Now, Monkey, I'm surprised actually that there's never been anything done with Fantasia on stage, because to me it's like it feels like it would be a natural thing, maybe not for a traditional Broadway show, but something like Cirque du Soleil or like a nighttime spectacular at a Disney park or something like that. I'm just surprised that it's never been attempted, especially considering Fantasia is the Disney movie has its closest roots to the theater scene.
Oh yeah.
So, okay, let's kind of go through this. I love I love how people were kind of just chiming on, like just not really aware of the joke quite yet. Okay. I said this in my text review, Monkey, but this just reminded me of the days scrolling through Mouse Info. I vividly remember reading reports of people coming off of DCA's Tower of Terror, and basically it would be like, well, there wasn't any fourth dimension room, but that mirror effect was super cool, man. Or let's see, I'm trying to think of other examples. Of course, I rapidly followed the development of Cars Land, but by the time Cars Land came around, I was on Mice Chat for that, following the pictures of that and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say maybe the last major project I followed, on Vision's Fantastic was Finding Nemo Submarine Voyage, which I was rabid about that, Monkey. I was just like, I was like looking at every little piece of coral that would get added to the lagoon, you know? So, yeah, very, very fun approach here. Just not really a lot to talk through. But this was an impressive part of the presentation, though. The fact that they were able to basically Photoshop like the main page.
Yeah.
Which is great. I love that. And this was my favorite. Let me point out my favorite element: the fact that they have this link, like discuss on the forums. If you click the link, it actually does bring you to the forums. But it's BB-8 coming to Star Wars Launch Bay. So that was fun. But seriously, though, this is some really good Photoshop work here. At least I assume it's Photoshop, because it very much does just do a really good job of. Oh wait, I don't know. I don't even know how they did this now, because there's all these links and everything. So now I'm just like, how the hell did you guys do this? It's like they hacked WDW magic. Seriously, anyone watching, I'd be genuinely curious to find out how this was done. Anyways. Okay, just a little bit more to get through, Monkey. So, like I said, this kind of stuff is like what I'm talking about. You know, back before YouTube and Twitter and everything, where
remember really the time?
Yes, Monkey, yes. Back before all that, you know, I just vividly remember like getting info from cast members was essentially the main source of information.
Oh, yeah.
And like this was back before like the Disney Parks blog or anything like that. You know, it's like Disney would like sit on stuff and then cast members would leak information. Oh man, it was a fun time. But so yeah, I do love this approach of, you know, like I said, it is a shame that there wasn't more detail here, but it's just so creative that it is very much kind of evens itself up. Okay. They even have like the final pictures of Beauty and the Beast. Oh yeah.
Including the non-equity tour.
Right.
Oh yeah, in that video.
I haven't seen this. I mean, I'm probably not going to watch the whole thing, but oh God. Oh no.
Isn't Chip like, what's going on?
Oh God, oh God, you can see the feet. Oh, that's awful.
Yeah. The tech person comes on.
Oh man, they just like run. Oh God.
Makes you look back differently on Mrs. Potts' line from the Broadway show about like, I can hardly bend over anymore.
Oh man. That's one thing I'm not looking forward to in Beauty and the Beast is, I know you haven't seen the designs, Monkey, but Mrs. Potts and Chips, not really the most promising. But I'll leave
I kind of saw something on Facebook. I didn't see what they looked like. It was something like, why do the remade versions of our beloved childhood characters look scarier now than they did back then?
Chip in particular is creepy as hell. But
it was Mrs. Potts and Michelangelo.
Oh God, Michelangelo, yes. Okay, let's see. So,
oh yeah, that Tower of Terror is going under construction in the meantime.
Just yeah, sure, why not?
Wait. Yeah. Okay.
I mean, you know, the presentation, like, it's funny because in one way, I definitely think it's a stronger presentation than Team Younger, but at the same time, I think Team Younger definitely had a more a more professional quality to theirs, whereas this felt like, you know, just kind of like, I don't want to say slapped together because that wouldn't be the right phrasing, but just by the very nature of making it into a forum post, it kind of loses the professional quality. I don't know.
Hear you. If I may ask at this point, why the Griffith Observatory?
Because of La La Land.
Really?
No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, yeah, like I could see Griffith Observatory being a good facade for a theme park attraction in Hollywood Studios, but why for a theater attraction?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I don't know. It could have been like the Dolby Theater or something.
I mean, I'm not really familiar with many of the theaters in the area, but
fair enough. But
I am familiar with the Griffith Park Observatory, and after La La Land, I really want to go and visit it, even though it's probably not going to be nearly as awesome in person. But
yeah. Funny, I saw Rebel Without a Cause at one of my local theaters back in January. That also spurred some maybe visit Griffith Observatory.
Oh yeah.
Oh god, if this Griffith Observatory had an animatronic James Dean come out the door, it's like, wait, look, I got the bullets!
I got the bullets! One thing about the La La Land interpretation of the observatory is that I highly doubt you can just go to that place like in the middle of the night and just walk in and have it to yourself and it's all lit up and everything. I highly doubt that's how it works.
It's a very good point, but I love how you highly doubt that. That's what you call out, not the floating off into space.
Well, the floating off into space is like it's meant to be metaphorical, Monkey.
I'm being funny. I'm just being funny.
It's fantastical. It's in their head.
I know.
All right. Oh man.
Yeah. So
I don't know. I would be down to have a La La Land debate at some point if you don't think that would inquire into many hurt feelings. I mean, I'd be fine. I can take it, but I don't know if you can take my praise of La La Land.
I may be able to.
Oh God. Anyways, folks.
So back to this. So how much of it is upcharge?
You know, that is one thing that I did not like was the idea of upcharge. I guess it's just for people who don't have park admission, but that to me just makes it like kind of overly convoluted. Like I don't know, Monkey.
Yeah, like
what would you do?
And also, I'm not crazy about the runtime either.
65 minutes. How so?
Yeah. It's just like, yeah, like maybe 50 at the max is what I'd prefer. Like again, going back to the Aladdin versus Frozen argument.
Like, okay.
So yeah, it's like for a theme park show, like for a show in the park, 65 feels a bit too long.
I hear you.
Like it's time that, you know, you could probably use to go on other attractions. I know I say this about that's probably not the most accurate thing to say about Hollywood Studios, but
right.
But,
I mean, maybe after Star Wars Land opens, that'll be the case. But
true. But yeah, it's like, and this is supposed to be like filling a void left by Lanuba.
Yeah, true.
So maybe they could in that space instead in downtown Disney.
I'm pretty sure
Disney Springs. I mean,
you remember if the prompt called for this to be specifically in a Disney park, though? That's the thing. I'm pretty sure.
I'm looking right now.
I'm pretty sure it did call to be in a Disney park.
For any Disney park, yeah.
Yeah. And you're right. I definitely think La Nuba would have been the more appropriate replacement because, like I said, I think Fantasia works better as like a Cirque du Soleil type experimental show.
Okay, granted, then you get in the idea of why go to Disney Springs when I could just play in the parks instead, but that's another thing.
Right. I'll tell you one of the things I wasn't entirely crazy about Monkey is the idea of having Gensid be kind of like the main focus of the show.
I thought it was just an apprentice.
It says the sorcerer. It keeps on saying the sorcerer.
Oh, I thought it kept saying the apprentice.
No, I mean, I'm looking.
Like throughout the course of the show.
Oh, I mean, yeah, you're right. There is some with the apprentice, but I guess just overall, I don't like the sorcerer's apprentice just eclipsing everything else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I like the sorcerer's apprentice is like, it's basically like kind of like doing, I don't know, this might be a harsh example, but doing like a jukebox musical and incorporating like Let It Go into half of it. It's just like, okay, we get it. Everyone loves Sorcerer's Apprentice. You know, like, we've seen it. We know what it is. Can we focus on some other things?
Yeah.
That's kind of how I felt here.
Yeah. And I kind of feel like Sorcerer's Apprentice is the bit that everyone knows, so that's maybe like how you tie it. Seems like that's just how they tie it all together, like framing device, and then it's, especially the other skits, you just get the apprentice in there with them.
No, I mean, it is a framing device for sure. You're right about that. I just maybe I'm just a purist for Fantasia, because Fantasia is one of those movies that as an adult I can just watch over and over again and study all the intricacies of, and I guess I kind of miss the presentation of having like Leopold Stokowski and Dean Taylor and like, look, people bag on Dean Taylor all the time, and I don't care. Dean Taylor is a great part of that original movie. He's Mr. Exposition, and he's a very effective Mr. Exposition. But I'm sorry, I'm getting off track. He's certainly a lot better than the celebrity cameos in 2000. That's for damn sure. The melty clock guy. Anyways, get out of here, Penn and Teller.
Redub Penn and Teller with Corey Burden.
Oh man.
That'll be easy for Teller.
You know, I had a music class in elementary school where you might be vaguely aware of these. I have no idea, but Penn and Teller actually did like a series of educational videos about music.
I don't think I've heard of these.
You haven't?
I don't think so. I'm not the most well-versed in the Penn and Teller universe.
But I just remember as an elementary school kid, Teller used to scare the crap out of me, man. I just got so unnerved by him. I don't know.
I can see that.
Just this little man following Penn around and not saying anything. It was creepy. I don't know. Anyways. And to tell you the truth, some of these transitions I don't necessarily think are the best. Like going from Pines of Rome to Rhapsody in Blue, I think is a very kind of like harsh transition, if you will, because it goes from like something that's incredibly naturalistic into something that's very, very kinetic and man-made, and I don't necessarily think it blends together all that well with some of the stuff.
Okay.
Is that a fair point?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, I do think the highlight here is the Pastoral Symphony, which I said in my written review. I think hands down the Pastoral Symphony is probably the most challenging thing in Fantasia from a viewer's point of view, from the point of view of people who want to adapt it into other things like a ride or whatever.
Well, you know what would have been fun?
What?
Somehow connect this show, like maybe like whatever special packages you can buy, like if they could connect it with the Fantasia Gardens mini golf.
Yeah.
Which is pretty close. Like you golf there nice. And you can like you get good, like you can clear, like you're not far from the Tower of Terror. I think you could even maybe hear Phantasmic.
Right.
Memories.
Okay. But yeah, like I said, the Pastoral Symphony is good. I honestly kind of thought it was a weird move that they said that Bald Mountain was kind of a snore.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm like, why would you want to intentionally sabotage a project like that? You know what I mean? I mean, I guess that's to make it more realistic. Like, yeah, not all of it is up to stuff, but if you're gonna mess up one thing, don't mess up Bald Mountain, man. I mean, come on. I do not get that. that is just a head scratcher to me. But anyways, so yeah, so we get the Firebird suite for the end, which I do think is a very fitting end, and that's about it. And then I think there's only like one or two things on this next page. Yeah, it's just that's what I thought. It was just the
Oh, I didn't see this part.
Yep, the stats. Okay, Monkey, let's go through really quick because I'm kind of losing time here. But creativity, what do you give it?
8 out of 10.
8 out of 10. Okay. Realism?
6 out of 10.
Oh, really? Okay. Why is that?
I guess some of the appeal factors in the upcharge and such, and also like I kind of don't buy that Disney these days would do such an extensive remodel of the theater.
I hear you. I definitely think the upcharge was probably the critical error of this project, because I think it just made it more complicated than it really needed to be, and it just kind of added in this extra factor that if you would have just like not mentioned that extra factor, it probably would have raised the realism score. But okay, anyways, detail.
6 out of 10.
Ooh, man, you're harsh. I mean, I see where you're coming from.
At least I'm not going below 5.
I very rarely go below 6, if I'm being honest. I very rarely go below 6. But oh man, I mean, I see where you're coming from with the detail, but I mean, there's stuff. I don't know.
Okay. Maybe we're on different rubrics.
I guess so. Well, I mean, it's the same rubric, but
well, you know what I mean, like different.
It means different things to different people.
Yeah.
Okay, and then finally, Monkey, presentation.
9 out of 10.
9 out of 10. Okay. Well, that makes up for it just a little bit. All right. And I guess with that, folks,
if I may say, like
ahead.
Overall, like if I were to look at each of them as their own, like take out all the other like contexts, like the theater and the park environment and realism, like if I were to judge these as they're like just the shows themselves.
Yeah.
If I had to choose which one I wanted to see, personally, I would lean towards Fantasia.
I would definitely agree with you there. But I think you and our scores, like, I think you were a little harsher overall in terms of your scores, which, I mean, it makes sense. You're a big theater guy. You know, you're going to look at this with more critical eye than I am.
Yes, I'm going to. How are you going to live up to the Broadway name, as commercial as it is nowadays?
How can you possibly top the triumph that was the Tarzan musical?
Yes, and other studios are trying to get in on it with Groundhog Day.
Oh, God.
And Shrek.
What the hell are they going to do with Groundhog Day? Just play the Sonny and Cher song over and over again? Like, have 20 reprises of that?
I'm sure I may be able to talk with you about that in the future, or at least briefly. But, yeah, look, Remember Finding Neverland is one now.
I've heard that one was actually really good.
I've heard mixed things. I'm going to find out in a few days, but yeah.
Okay, I'm curious about Finding Neverland because I actually find the movie to be really underappreciated these days. I mean, that's where Freddie Highmore got his start, and now he's kicking ass on Bates Motel. So
yeah, right.
Okay, so Monkey, I guess that's about it. And yeah, I do agree with you that I think Pinocchio was the more solid presentation. It was more professional. It was more detailed. And I definitely think it stuck closer to the spirit of Jag's Sleeping Beauty musical, and it got closer to accomplishing that goal. But I do give Team Mist a lot of props for their creative, outside the box, like you said, Monkey, game-changing way of doing a project.
Yeah. And a riskier show, too.
Yeah, totally.
More creative show as well.
And I said this in my written review, but I think as a prototype for a project like that. You know what I mean? A project that's put together as a thread. As a prototype, I think it works really well, and it makes sense that there'd be a couple kinks in it as a prototype. But I would definitely like to see this used more if they can incorporate it well. So, all right. So with that in mind, Monkey, Team Mist did in fact lose. The 3 nominees were I Am Not a Hufflepuff. I'm sure you care so much about this. The 3 nominees were I Am Not a Hufflepuff, Magic Feather, and Trevor A. But Magic Feather was in possession of a Diamond Power of MVP, which she actually used, which oddly enough, I would say resulted in the most eventful use of a Diamond PO MVP ever.
The one time I come on this thing.
I know, right? Because it's like the Diamond PO MVP is something that Garrett and I have tried to make happen season and season and season again, and usually it just results in like the guy will get it who doesn't even need it, and it just goes unused through the season. But no, this was like, I do feel like Magic Feather, you know, it's like, I don't know how exactly I would have called the judging if Magic Feather had been in the mix, but she could have potentially saved herself. But instead, I Am Not a Hufflepuff was eliminated here because he barely contributed anything this project, and he's kind of been floundering in activity for a while now, so I think it makes sense, 12th place. Monkey, the elimination here that really broke my heart, though, that I truly think is like one of the saddest eliminations in the history of the game. Trevor A goes out in 11th place here. Which is heartbreaking. It really is. It was an incredibly tough decision on my part. Actually, the decision on my part kind of came down to 2 people who I'm personally friends with, in Trevor and Snoopy. So I'm just like, oh, God, you're just asking me to pick between my 2 kids here. God. But at the end of the day, while Trevor and Snoopy kind of had an equal amount of brainstorming in the thread, I did notice more contributions from Snoopy when it came to the presentation itself. And so that's why I went with the decision to eliminate Trevor, because it was a double elimination and it sucks. It truly does suck. I am not happy about it whatsoever. I am just like, oh, man. But it is what it is, and hopefully, at the very least, his elimination is memorable. Because you know me, Monkey, I love some good TV, and I love some highlight, you know, like iconic moments. So hopefully, at the very least, Trevor's elimination will be that. But I'm still bummed about it, man. I'm still really bummed. Okay, Monkey, any last words? Anything you want to plug?
Let's see. Well, here's a plug of some kind.
Nice. Wonderful.
Yeah, so eventually someday we'll talk Disney Theatrical.
Eventually. That's going to take a lot of research on my end, but I'm down for it.
Yeah, and depending on whether or not you get to see Aladdin.
Which I don't know. That's a question mark, but we'll talk about that off the air. But so yeah, okay, folks. Any last words, Monkey?
Thanks for having me.
Of course. Thanks for coming on.
And happy St. Patrick's Day to y'all with my awful Irish accent.
Yes. You sent me the Jack Skellington St. Patrick's Day thing, which I just it's amazing.
I love how Mew said, like, I knew you'd send that.
I've never seen it before, and I was just like, oh, God. Oh, this is priceless. And the animation on it is actually really good, too. Like, the stop motion.
Yes, and it's actual stop motion.
Right. Anyways. So, yeah. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Monkey, the next project is Lord of the Rings, which I'm sure you're super into. Can't even muster some fake enthusiasm.
Here's a green highlighter for St. Patrick's Day.
Awesome. Okay. And with that in mind, folks, thanks for joining us. We're about halfway through the season at this point. It's been an awesome season so far. Got 10 people left. I truly think anyone in the cast could take it. There's definitely some people that are kind of bigger contenders than others. I won't name names at this point. One of you knows who you are because I kind of told you as much.
Yeah, but, it's obviously me.
Yes, Monkey, you're going to win the whole thing. You're finally going to win a season to So You Want to Be an Imagineer.
Yeah, that's going to be the big twist. There's your memorable moment.
Oh, God. Okay, folks, so See you later. Have a good day.